From weird pistons to a mysterious potion, here are 39 amazing Minecraft facts you didn't know existed. Can you die in spectator mode? No mobs can hurt you, TNT can't blow you up, and you can't even drown. So how? Well, you could just fly to the bottom of the void where you'll die, but it's easier to use the /kill command. Do you recognize this place? Veteran players will know that this is the legendary world from the old background in the main menu. To visit this place, create a world on old beta version 1.7.3 with a visible seed, and go to this coordinates. I can't believe I'm standing here. You can have working waypoints in vanilla Minecraft. By naming a banner, placing it, and clicking on it with your map, you'll see a new marker on your map. This makes it easy to mark important locations. It's much better than writing down all the important coordinates. When you go into Minecraft options and choose a language, you can choose one of the many languages in the game. But even here, there are a few Easter eggs. One of them is the pirate language, which changes the names of all items to more pirate-like ones. The name of the trident is definitely my favorite. You can also choose the lolcat language, which seems even weirder when enabled. Chainmail armor is impossible to craft. However, before version 1.8, using commands, we could get fire as an item. And the weirdest thing is that we could use it to craft chainmail armor. I wonder who came up with that idea. Although water dampens all explosions, there is a trick to triggering an underwater explosion. Simply place any gravity block on the TNT, which will allow the explosion to occur underwater. So now your TNT is unstoppable. What is the largest mob in Minecraft? Out of the passive mobs, it is definitely the camel, which has a much larger hitbox than the player. The largest neutral mob is the Enderman, which should not be a surprise. However, using commands, you can summon a giant zombie, which is the largest in the entire game. The swift sneak enchantment allows us to move faster while sneaking, but most people use it ineffectively. If you start running before crouching, you will move much faster. For even greater speed, run and jump before crouching. This will allow you to move like a ninja. Do you see anything special here? At first glance, it looks like a regular Minecraft title screen. However, if you look more closely at the game title, you'll notice that it says Minecraft. This is because the Minecraft title screen has a small chance of saying Minecraft instead of Minecraft, which is 1 in 10,000. When you don't have armor and you wonder from what height you can fall without dying, it is 23 blocks. Falling from this height will leave us exactly half a heart. Did you know that you can enchant a normal golden apple in an anvil, but will that turn it into a notch apple? The answer is a bit ambiguous. Enchanting a normal apple will actually increase its rarity and change the color of its name to pink. The apple will still function as a normal apple though. Look at these colorful maps. You can get them without using any mods. Using commands, you can choose any color of the map. Green is definitely the best. Some textures in Minecraft have hidden elements. One of them is the zombie pigman texture. Before the 1.14 update, in the zombie pigman texture files, you could see an inscription added by Notch, which expressed appreciation and thanks to the original creator of the texture. This is an illegal snowy grass block. To find it, go to the infinite dimension snapshot, then type skygrid in the book and find the block in question. Or you can just use the debug stick in creative mode. It's much easier. Did you know that technological items used to exist in vanilla Minecraft? In one of the April Fool's updates, Mojang added a few new items. First, there was reality vision, which allowed you to see a 3D view of the map from a bird's eye view. Then there was the USB charger block, which worked just like the redstone block. Then the smarter watch, which displayed the current time and the distance you had traveled. And the ankle monitor, which, when equipped, gave the player the slowness 1 effect and reminded them not to stray too far from the spawn. Food can usually be stacked up to 64 pieces in one slot. However, in older versions of Minecraft Java Edition, food was impossible to stack. If you remember this, you are a Minecraft veteran. This is a very strange piston. Although it looks completely normal, it works completely differently. Thanks to this, you can move blocks several squares away and at different heights. This piston is part of a data pack by YouTuber McMakistein. Every Christmas, Mojang adds a cute little detail. From December 24th to 26th, all chests are transformed into presents. Infested blocks in Minecraft are very annoying. Luckily, they are easy to tell apart. Unlike normal blocks, infested blocks are mined a bit faster, but the best thing to do is to use a pickaxe with silk touch enchantment. Now you don't have to worry about silverfishes. The arrow of splashing is one of the most useless items in Minecraft. You can create it by combining an arrow with a lingering water bottle. It has no effects, and the only thing it adds are blue particles after shooting the arrow. Since the Minecraft Pretty Scary update, we can observe some interesting things during the Halloween period. On October 31st, many mobs will sometimes wear carved pumpkins or jack-o'-lanterns on their heads. Also, the only splash text displayed on the main menu is "Ooh, spooky." Until Minecraft version 1.8.9, it was possible to kill the Ender Dragon with snowballs, although they did little damage, and a sword or beds were more effective. Snowballs are easy to get and can be thrown very quickly. The original texture of the crying obsidian was introduced a long time ago in the old beta version 1.3. Initially, this block was supposed to set our spawn point. However, this idea was discarded in favor of a bed. The crying obsidian did not appear in the game until 7 years later in the Nether update and is still with us to this day. If you hit a zombie pigman, all nearby ones will become aggressive towards you. But interestingly, when an aggressive pigman dies, it will still drop experience points, even if you didn't touch it. This allows us to make a simple AFK farm. This is the Bottle of Entity. In one of the April Fool's Day snapshots, Mojang added a ton of new potions, and each of them allows us to transform into any existing mob in the game. You could be a bee, a creeper, an evoker, or even a wither. And this is the Bottle of Void, which, when drunk, will allow you to return to your normal human form. I want that in the game. Replacing a selected block in creative mode is a pain, because you have to destroy the block to then place a new block. But there is one trick that will make it much easier for you. If you click the left and right mouse buttons at the same time, the blocks will immediately swap. This means you can even swap blocks that are floating in the air. As we know, obsidian is impossible to blow up. However, there is one secret method. It is not about a large amount of TNT or even fireball. The only way is the blue witherhead, the explosion of which is enough to blow up the obsidian. To create a beacon block, you must first obtain a nether star, but this was not always the case. From version 15W31A to version 15W31B, it was actually possible to obtain it in end ships. However, it was later replaced by a pumpkin. Sponges in Minecraft were completely illegal. As we know now, we can easily get them in the Ocean Monument, but it was not always like that. Sponges were first added in version 0.0.19a and could only be obtained in creative mode since beta pre-release 1.8. Additionally, they did not drain water and were simply useless. But with version 14W25A, which added Elder Guardians, sponges became possible to obtain in survival mode. And finally, they started draining the water. This is a secret way to torture villagers. You may know that when a raid starts, the villagers ring a bell. However, by building a visible trap after starting the raid, the villagers will try to ring the bell and simply fall straight into the trap. When you destroy the bottom of a chorus fruit, all the other blocks will be destroyed, along with the flowers on top. However, to collect chorus flowers, you can simply shoot them with a bow or even knock them down with a trident. Now, you don't have to build up to collect a few flowers. If you try to change the name tag name to name tag in the anvil, it will be impossible. However, by changing the language in the settings, you will get an illegal name tag. And after changing the language again, you will keep it. There are a few items that are resistant to certain things. For example, the nether star is resistant to various explosions, and all netherite items and ancient debris are resistant to lava. However, nothing is resistant to the cactus. In snapshot 13W37A, Minecraft added the /set block command, which allows us to place any block in the place we choose. However, at first it did not work well, which created strange anomalies. The strangest things happened to the pumpkin stem, because at first we were able to place it much higher than normal, which looked like some strange roots. But in the next snapshot, instead of the stem, we could see the texture of the weird pumpkin. Probably many of you didn't know this. The texture of the prismarine block seems ordinary and boring, but it is actually animated. During the full animation, the entire texture changes its color several times, and the full animation lasts over 5 minutes. If you name a rabbit Toast, it will change its fur to a special pattern that is not normally found in the game. However, the reason for adding this Easter egg is quite sad. It was added as a tribute to a player whose rabbit named Toast went missing in real life. One of the developers added this pattern to the game to commemorate the missing pet. Cakes in Minecraft hide this from you. If you look at the cake as an item, you will count a total of 7 cherries, but when you place the cake as a block, you will count 8 cherries. And the most interesting thing is that you don't even add them to the crafting table. We all know that camels will protect us from hostile mobs like vindicators or husks, but did you know that striders can do it too? They are tall enough to protect you from all baby mobs. Lightning is very weird in Minecraft. If it hits a villager, it turns them into a witch. If it hits a creeper, you get a charged creeper. If it hits a pig, it turns into a zombified piglin. But if it hits a turtle, it gives you a bowl. Mojang why? Well, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe.